Welcome back, y'all. This video is a re-upload. This was from 9 months ago. The newer background is not there. The sound quality might be off in a couple of places. I apologize. If you are one of the 900 people that saw this video before, if you want to watch it again, that'd be great. If you don't, I completely understand. I appreciate you being around that long. Diddy now has a criminal case and there is new information. Based on what I'm seeing here, at first, it's going to be a slow roll. The second, and I mean the very second, they get one witness on the stand and they start threatening football numbers, it's all coming down. Once people start coming out on those stands, it's gonna get a little squirrely for everybody, man. Because he's gonna start dropping names. And in turn, people are gonna start ratting. He's not getting out anytime soon. He got denied bail 2 times. They keeping him in there. So I'm just gonna redrop this and add little bits of newer information. I'm sure I said it in this video, but as of right now, everything I'm talking about in this video or I'm currently saying or about to say is alleged. Do not sue me. So first, let's watch the video from 9 months ago. Then we will go over the updates. Sean Combs, aka Puffy, aka P. Diddle, is under fire for a multitude of reasons, but most recently, the biggest headline has been his ex-girlfriend, in quotations, Cassie, has sued him in civil court over some pretty heinous allegations. I put girlfriend in quotations for a reason that I will get to at the end of the video. Most people should know exactly who these people are, but if you don't, Cassie Ventura, aka Cassie, that's her stage name, is a singer, songwriter. Her biggest hit is Me and You from 2006, had me cutting up in the skating rink, and she was signed to Bad Boy. Anybody see a conflict of interest here? No? Okay. Then we have Puffy. He has amassed a net worth of at least $1 billion. He's a rapper and a producer. He's the co-founder of Revolt. He helped develop Ciroc. Can't forget about Sean John. And I'm sure he's an investor in a lot of other companies. This man has enough money to last him multiple lifetimes living the exact same lifestyle. And with money comes power. How did Diddy use his power? Well, I don't want to speak in definitive terms here, but let's go over a couple of allegations. I want y'all to hear that. It's alleged. I said alleged. Allegations. As previously mentioned, this man wears many hats. He is most notoriously known as Biggie's manager and being the founder of Bad Boy. But before that, he worked at Uptown, a place in which he was fired for failing to understand workplace politics. It's all good, no harm, no foul, right?
Uptown Records started with 5 people. Andre Harrell, I'll Be Sure, Heavy D, and Puffy. And Kim was the longest working employee because she was there from the very beginning. She was Andre's personal assistant. Kim is dead. Heavy D is dead. Andre Harrell is dead. The only 2 left are Puffy and Al almost died. You want to know what they all had in common, though? The survivors and the late of Uptown Records, they were all writing tell-all books.
Now, I usually believe in coincidences. They happen. A correlation is not always a causation, but this is mighty convenient. So if this part is true, he already has a body count. Depending on who you ask, this next one he is either directly responsible for or somewhat involved in. The murder of Tupac Shakur and attempted murder of Suge Knight. Now this year, Keefe D, who is a high-ranking Los Angeles Crip in his set, kinda self-snitched and got himself jammed up. Whether he's the actual trigger man is still up in the air, but we know he was involved on some level.
So what directed your attention to him? Was some girl shouting at Tupac?
Tupac! He gave himself away. Otherwise, they would have got away. I gave it to Dre. Dre was like, no. And Lane's like, give it to Pop too.
Orlando Anderson, who's in the right rear passenger, reaches forward and says, give me that motherfucker. Leans over DeAndre Smith out the back window of the Cadillac and begins shooting rapidly into the BMW.
And he even says that Puffy had $1 million on Pac's head. And when they got the call about where Pac was, Diddy's associates offered them straps and even offered to roll with them.
Zip, who knows about Puffy's offer to Keefe, says this is a good time to take care of that thing.
Shit, it was right there. It's a perfect opportunity, baby. And they asked like, do y'all want us to come? I'm like, we know where them motherfuckers at. They was telling us that they gonna be at the 662 Club.
Who was saying that?
Everybody.
Everybody out there?
Yeah, everybody.
You get out.
Now, it could have been Keefe D or it could have been his nephew, Orlando Anderson, but it was somebody in that car. Only time will tell. Hopefully it's before something happens to him in prison because only one of them still alive now. It doesn't stop there, though. Everybody has weird stories about P. Diddy, We all know this. We've heard them for many years, just no one's done anything about it. We've all heard a story or two about the parties that P. Diddy throws. Not everyone has the power to stand up to someone who has the influence of P. Diddy. There has been a couple of people though, most notably 50 Cent. He's definitely the most vocal. He's clowning on him right now. He spoke about the shopping trip that he was offered and about how P. Diddy acts in general and how it makes him uncomfortable.
Yo, when we gonna get the chance to, to kick it, like we could just hang out, nigga. We gotta kick it.
This is
Puff.
Okay.
He telling me we gotta kick it and shit. And he was like, yo, why don't we like go shopping or some shit? I mean, like I pay for it. And I was like, what the fuck this nigga just say?
You don't see accident pictures with me like kissing niggas.
Like that doesn't happen by accident. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Look. Later you gonna find out a little shit that I be saying be real. Later you gonna find out a little shit that I be saying be real.
Kid Cudi, who committed the awful crime of just being Cassie's next boyfriend after they were on a break, they being Puffy and Cassie. Puffy found out, and that pretty much ended with him threatening to blow up Kid Cudi's car. And then mysteriously, the fucking car blew up. Oh no! Had a bad carburetor or some shit. Had to change the brake pad. Check that engine light, man. That's a coincidence, I'm sure. Cars blow up all the time. So do y'all remember that time that J. Cole, P. Diddy, and a couple other celebrities were partying in New York one night? Kendrick Lamar had just dropped the Control verse, and on there he said that he was the king of New York.
I'm Machiavelli's offspring, I'm the king of New York, king of the coast. One hand, I juggle them both.
Well, apparently P. Diddy did not like that very much, so he took it upon himself to spot Kendrick Lamar in the club and proceed to try to pour a drink on his head. J. Cole was not a fan, stole off on that nigga. Apparently he got the better of him, but I'm just saying, since that point, I haven't seen that nigga J. Cole touch a car since. He been on Huffies and Mongooses. Jamie Foxx apparently stepped on his toes just by talking too much. And then he got sick and had a fucking stroke or something, which is like a cousin to a heart attack. Another coincidence, I'm sure. How is this not picked up by the state? I don't understand how New York works. This surviving P. Diddy shit better be vicious. 50 Cent is a genius. I do think they should pick up that name. Did he do it or not? Let's watch a couple of videos of Diddy obviously making people uncomfortable and also alluding to things that were done behind closed doors.
For your birthday, man.
We partied for my birthday before. You came to my party.
No, but me and you ain't never really party, you know what I'm saying? Eyes, brother.
Oh, man.
Eyes. I understand. I love this drink.
Where you put my bag
I like
at?
when you like this, Daddy.
Yeah, where you put my bag
Daddy,
at?
I like when you
It's
scrambling
right
and
here.
scraping for shit.
No, I got
I
notes
like
and
that.
shit. I'll be practicing. I got
Yeah,
notes
there you
and
go.
shit.
Got your notes?
Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna go over with that one.
Make a
That
wish.
one?
Just blow it out. It's your
No.
birthday every day.
Every
You good to go?
I'm good to go.
Yeah.
All right.
And then, when you get 18, you get the house. You get the mansion.
Okay, I get the mansion.
Yeah.
So where are we off to now?
Where would you like to go?
Um,
Starting to act different, huh?
No,
you
not
ain't
really.
been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But you never really got my number, so.
Correct.
My
Okay.
number?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you my number.
Yeah.
It's 555.
Yes. Okay.
5555.
Okay. 55. You heard that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm
moved to New York City, and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you
New
over
York
to something
City.
called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp.
Yeah,
Flavor
that's what it
Camp.
was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In
to
the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place.
I was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you
I
seeing?
went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was Jodeci, Mary J. Blige. They didn't know nothing about this shit.
Oh. Again, this is all alleged, and some of the videos needed more context to some people, but to me, this is the context. So if we're looking at the lawsuit, I'm not reading the lawsuit word for word. This is through my filter, and again, all of this is alleged. This is not stuff that he did for sure. Do not come for me. Cassie pretty much alleges that Diddy kept her on drugs to make her dependent, used fear to intimidate her into not leaving, otherwise her career would be done for, put hands on her, forced himself on her multiple times, and even forced her to have relations with other people while he watched. Now I want to go over that term girlfriend. That does not imply that they were in a happy, healthy relationship, and it definitely does not imply that she is not allowed to say no or change her mind. You see, we've We've already established that this has been going on with the male talent for years, and everyone understands that. And when we talk about that in Diddy, everyone says, yeah, that's true. But now that it's Cassie saying something that she wants to sue, everyone's saying, oh, why did she say anything before? There's no fucking time limit on it, you goofy ass nigga. And we've already covered that he used intimidation tactics to show that he was a dangerous person. This is not a criminal case. She's suing in civil court, so there has to be a monetary value. Okay, so now for the update. This is from MSNBC. Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs was arrested on Monday in New York based on an indictment filed by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York. That indictment, unsealed Tuesday morning, outlined 3 federal charges against the rap star: racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, and coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Combs abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. In a statement following Combs' arrest on Monday, his attorney, Mark Agnifilo, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, called Combs an innocent man with nothing to hide. Okay, so let's read a couple of things from the 14-page indictment. If you are a person who has experienced any type of assault of a sexual nature, I probably wouldn't listen to this. I'm just giving you your warning right now. Okay, he is here on a RICO case, by the way, and you'll see why. So we already went over part of this paragraph a couple seconds ago, but it's basically talking about how he used intimidation to control people. It says, to do so, Combs relied on the employees, resources, and influence of the multifaceted business empire that he led and controlled, creating a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other crimes, sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, robbery, and obstruction of justice. Paragraph 3 says, at all times relevant to this indictment, Sean Combs, aka all of his names, the defendant engaged in a persistent and pervasive pattern of abuse toward women and other individuals. This abuse was at times verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual. As part of the abuse, Combs manipulated women to participate in highly orchestrated performances or sexual activity with male commercial sex workers. At times, Combs and others, acting at his direction, made arrangements for women and commercial sex workers to fly to Combs' location. Combs ensured participation from the women by, among other things, obtaining and distributing narcotics to them, controlling their careers, leveraging his financial support, and threatening to cut them off the same, and using intimidation and violence. Does this sound familiar? Does this sound a little bit like Cassie's case? On numerous occasions from at least in or about 2009, continuing for years, Combs assaulted women by, among other things, striking, punching, dragging, throwing objects, and kicking them. These assaults were at times witnessed by others, and including one instance at a Los Angeles hotel in or about March 2016, which captured a video and later publicly reported, where Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a woman as she attempted to leave. When a member of the hotel security staff intervened, Combs attempted to bribe the staff member to ensure silence. Combs' violence was not limited to these women, it extended to his employees, witnesses, and to his abuse and others. Paragraph 6. This is where they talk about the Combs enterprise, which is apparently where the RICO charge comes from. This is what everyone is underneath. They're saying this is the gang, the organization. That is how you get a RICO. It's a conspiracy to commit crimes in furtherance of a criminal organization. From at least in or about 2008 through on or about the date of filing his indictment, the defendant and the others known and unknown were members and associates of a criminal organization, in parentheses, the Combs Enterprise. Members and associates of the Combs Enterprise engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other activities, trafficking, forced labor, interstate transportation for purposes of prostitution, coercion, and the enticement to engage in prostitution, narcotics offenses, kidnapping, arson, robbery, and obstruction of justice. Okay, I'm going to stop it right there. There's a lot of concerning things in this indictment, such as this, the freak-offs that they would have in these houses and these rooms, and after they were done, Diddy would be so tired that he would have to link himself up to an IV to replenish himself. An IV. On top of that, when the feds flipped his house, they found 1,000 bottles of baby oil. How many ass cheeks are in this room? I don't even want to know. I'm not going to read the whole indictment in this video. I feel like that would extend it beyond where it needed to be. I might make a separate video just reading the indictment. I know people are at work, they're on a drive. Everyone can't pull it up and read, but they still want to be informed, so why not? Now, I don't know if this man is guilty of any of this stuff. I don't know if all the actions that are in this indictment are criminal in nature, but to me, myself, and I, this is more than enough evidence for me to be leaning towards one side. I'll let you do some deductive reasoning, but if it walk like a duck, talk like a duck, and that duck is always asking if everybody wants to party with them and giving out 2CB, then it's probably a duck. Y'all be safe, man.